Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God on our side, CNC Life.
What up, everybody?
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Thank you for tuning again with us this Monday evening.
It's Monday, February 17th.
The Monday after Valentine's Day.
Yes. I hope and pray that your Valentine's was good if you celebrate Valentine's Day. I know one person who had extremely good Valentine's Day. That was none other than Javon, Apostle Javon. Javon Blakely.
Listen, he set it out for his wife.
For Lady Felicia Blakely.
She couldn't go out, so I brought it home to her.
We saw some of the Facebook post.
Made us want to play. That's all right.
I was like, man, this dude here, man, he's finally doing it. I mean, after how many years?
Why you have to say finally? Don't do him like that.
He finally doing it.
All right. See, he coming for you. Just be ready. Just be ready. He got a whole pulpit
Lady
and a
Felicia
mic.
was like, wait a minute. He said, what we got here?
You know what?
Lady Felicia was like, oh, surprise.
Just be ready.
I know. Shoot. Other than the Friday, how was your weekend? What did we do?
Was good. Weekend was good. A little retail therapy. You know, had a heart. You know, the flu tried to come in.
Like a flood.
But, you know, we won. We here. Yes, I'm sorry I missed you all last week. We had the wonderful guest, Miss Danielle Takia Lester. She was on and she had a wonderful interview about her book, Roses Smell Like Boo Boo. Okay? But she is making Black history, a wonderful entrepreneur here in Atlanta. Well, we can't just say Atlanta because she's getting called and flown everywhere to do her thing and to decorate, to plan and create atmospheres and memories and experiences. And we were so great to have her on. She's done at least 3 parties of ours here in Georgia, and we're not done with her. Okay, so listen, our month, this is Black History Month.
Wait, what else you do this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
You heard from your
son.
Guess what? You heard from your son.
I heard from my son yesterday. Yes, y'all know he finished his first week of basic training and in the Army, and we're so proud of him. And you know, we had to encourage him. It was a rough week for him, but he was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm not quitting. You know, it's some moments that happen. You know, as far as you know, you it's some people you may be doing right, but you are stuck with some people that just can't get it right, or he called them boneheads. That's what he called them. And so, you know, with the Army, everything is about one team, one unit, one platoon. You know, you have each other's back. So if someone do it wrong, it's like everybody did it wrong. So, you know, he's like, I just wish people would just do right and grow up. So yeah. But it was good to hear his voice. I had a moment.
Yeah, the tides have turned, y'all. You remember maybe about a month ago how everybody was talking about me and crying from sun and this and that and the other. So I don't cry anymore, maybe a little bit. But now the tides are really turned over to Carlette. So anyway, but
you know what? I'm proud of him. I told him I'm already there at his graduation mentally. I'm already there.
So right quick, we went down to Columbus and
yes,
I was invited. Go ahead.
Had the distinct honor to grace the pulpit.
Yes.
Be ye also ready.
Yes, there we are. There I am.
Yeah. But when I tell y'all we had some church, like for real, I'm talking Yes Lord Church.
Your family members call me Joel Osteen.
But he was not this weekend. I was so proud of him.
The Blakeleys.
I was like, oh,
the
look
Blakeleys
at this
call
coming
me.
out. Look at it.
The Blakeleys call me Joel Osteen, but that's okay. That's okay because all the Blakeleys.
Ancestors proud, y'all. I promise y'all. Y'all should.
That's all right.
This is gonna be my mic. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I'm like, wait a minute.
Because 95% of the Blakeleys is Kojic, so that.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Anyway, bring on our guest.
When I say the Lord answers prayer, it's Adam. He been around me all this time. Yes, Lord.
Anyway. Yes, the Lord
but
did have
I can show video.
Okay, all right. You want to go there, huh?
I didn't say
okay.
that. Okay.
And Miss, I wasn't gonna sing. I'm not gonna sing, and the Lord had you sing.
Okay, so we move on in the conversation.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I got the video for that. How about that?
Alto proud. So listen, okay. This is Black History Month, okay? And we said, you know how they talking about canceling this month and everything, this celebration. Whatever. This is us and I told you I'm wearing black, we wearing black, and we black. Okay. So we're in the spirit of Black History Month. You are making Black history. Our guest tonight, somebody near and dear to my heart. I've known him all my life. He's known me longer than I knew myself. But the thing is, this is family, but not just that. He is the maestro himself, Mr. David Allen Blakely. He is the son. He is the son of the late Superintendent David Blakely and the wonderful, my big sister Sunshine, my auntie Dolores Blakely, and the cousins, my cousins Darren and Bria, and he's everything. He's amazing, and I'm telling you all, he is a star to many, and he has helped many generations after him. And let's welcome him in.
Yes, Pastor. Well, not Pat. Is it Pat? Are you the pastor?
No.
Because I was about to say no. Elder. We gonna say Elder David Allen Blakely.
You are an elder, right?
No.
Oh, listen.
Just brother David. Blakely. What's
Brother
going on?
David.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. How are you all?
Oh, we doing good.
We are good. So listen, I know we are so proud of you. First of all, thank you for all that you've done through the years for the kingdom, for the church, for the culture, for the people, for the world, and you have a gift.
Kojic.
For everything.
Yes.
Everything. He is not one that you can keep in a box. He has literally has his hand in a lot. So let's go ahead and dig right in. Come on and tell us a story. Tell us some history.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Let's go back to the early 70s.
Early late 60s.
Okay, let's go.
Well, I've been doing this, what you call gospel music, choirs, since late 60s, early 70s. My mother and father both played piano, organ, so it had hit somebody in the family, so it hit me. Even though my mother and father, they both had my sister and brother as well, we all had to do piano and organ lessons. They didn't hang with it. I hung with it because of my love for piano and organ. So it was started from there, like what, 12, 13, like that. And from there I went to, start off playing testimony service when that's how my dad got me going as far as the organ, playing testimony service. And then from there I went to playing for a little bit with the choir, church choir, Bay Temple in East Chicago, Indiana.
That's right.
See?
Block Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it went from there to my late grandfather, Bishop William O. Blakely. He was pastoring two churches, and the other one was Saints Home Church of God in Christ in Gary, Indiana. And so they started a youth choir, and they allowed me to play over there on once a month. So start playing with them, and then it just peaked from there. Just went to other situations in the city. Taylor Evans Community Choir in Gary, Indiana. So it just went from there, and then on the national level, it just went to a whole nother, situation there.
Wow.
And I have a love for church choirs or community choirs.
So let me say this. A lot of churches have gotten rid of the choir and they're doing the praise team. I remember when that transition happened, it was weird. It was weird at first. I think it came from another culture that we brought over to us. But give me a choir any day. Give me a choir any day. Let's talk about that. Do you think the purpose of the praise team was to replace, or was it to shorten the service? I mean, just really, what was that all about?
Well, I think it has a little bit of everything.
Okay.
The reason why I say that because, the traditional, let's say, starting with the traditional churches, black churches, others, they did what they did with the traditional choir. I don't care if it was a 7-voice choir up to even over 100 voices. It was nothing like being the church choir.
Right.
And like you said, the other side, we started paying attention to them because they did more of the worship field as far as music, gospel music. And with that type of music, it didn't need a choir. It just needed a few singers, 7 singers, and you would be able to get your point across in as far as your music ministry. And so it went there, and then later on, most churches wanted to do both. Oh, yeah. So what they did was it was determined that people would put their foot down. We don't want to get rid of the choir. We still want the choir sound. So it was a situation where the music department the praise and worship would start the service off, and then later on the choir would sing. And so it was very important back then, and I still say today, we still need that church sound.
Yes.
Most choirs, now there are some, but most choirs don't have, you have to, what's the word? You got to audition.
Yes.
As long as you had a love for singing, as long as they keep you away from the mic, as long as they don't want to, take your love away from choir singing. So the choirs will grow in numbers, but nowadays there's some churches you have to audition for the choir.
Right.
And if your voice ain't the best, well, maybe the usher board is your ministry, or the nurses guild is your ministry, or a greeter. Right. So that's what that all about. But you can't take away, to me, that the soul and the love for the choir sound. Yes. The choir sound is there, and it's not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. It may not be for every church, but for the majority of our church type of churches, you can't go wrong with a church choir on a Sunday morning.
On a Sunday morning, absolutely. I remember back in the day, musicals. Okay, they're not. I haven't been to one in years, but the last one I did go to, it's just not the same because musicals were mainly choirs. Well, now it seems like it's more groups, and you have a couple of choirs sprinkled in. But it was nothing like going to a musical where the choir had to do an A and a B selection. And sometimes their A would catch on so good that you couldn't get to the B, and then just uproar, and then you like, okay, we gotta do something to break this up, and then bring on the next choir. If they were that good or whatever the case may be. But those were good times, and it was like a cycle. Like, okay, next choir up, like the next choir. Okay, y'all get ready because y'all gonna be next as soon as they're done. And I mean, how many choirs you can push through in a 2-hour period? If it was right, had a good director, it would be really, really good. So I even remember the midnight musicals, and then at the end they was unto your mom the best. And then she would make sure they would serve a pancake breakfast before you. It was the 99-cent all you can eat pancakes.
Come on, Jesus.
99-cent pancakes.
Yeah, all you can eat pancakes.
Oh, wow.
Seriously.
For 99
cents. Am I right? It was 99 cents.
Yep.
But those are memories. But the focus wasn't, of course, to praise the Lord, lift the name, but it was something else for us to do, get you out of the world. And it was the choirs coming together, and we had a very good time. And yes, people would get saved at them too. Yeah, they would still do an altar call. So my thing is, what do you say to choir directors to encourage them that feel like they holding on?
Now, if it's a good director, I would say, first of all, his motivation skills gotta pop in, and because sometimes, a lot of times, like you said, the choirs. And first of all, nobody's getting paid,
right? As
far as the choir,
right?
So that means if they're part of the choir, they love what they're doing. And so if I'm, as a choir member, worked all day, tired, and if I go home, I'm not going to choir rehearsal. Right. So if I have to work, I'm going to choir rehearsal, is because of the love that I have for singing in the choir. So that director has to have a great motivation skills to keep their attention. And bring songs that, first of all, the songs got to minister to them first before they even minister to the choir, and then from there, before they even minister to the church on Sunday mornings. So that's very important, that you have a great choir director, who's over the choir that's teaching music. Bring the right songs. Don't be dogmatic. Don't be fussing at them all night, because you may catch me this Wednesday or whatever night rehearsal, but you may not. If you hit me hard, I may not come back. Right. So you have to have that motivation to keep them going. Finding songs that don't prick their hearts, and great songs. Yeah. And if you keep doing that, and keep an ear for the Lord to give you the right songs. If you got that formula going, you will have I guarantee you'll have a good choir, and a good number of choir members that will faithfully be a part of your choir.
I agree. Now, I personally, with my history in the choir, mainly at Faith Temple, I did do the choir in college as well. We were called the Voices. But my choir director, my favorite, aside from your dad, okay, I learned a lot of hymns under your dad, was my other was Elder Graylin Blakely. Okay. He had pizzazz. He had, if you want to, and it wasn't, but he had style. He had grace for it. He had showmanship. I mean, he was good. He could get you into it, and he make you want to sing. He made you want to sing. Another great that I loved growing up with the regional choir was Valerie Daniels Carter. I mean, oh my goodness. That was my first time ever witnessing her direct 3 people, an alto, soprano, tenor, and it sounded like a full choir. She trained those voices. And then the late, great Dr. Mattie Moss Clark. Now, what stories? Because let's go with your history with the Clark family. Let's go there. Let's go, because that was your break, wasn't it?
As far as the the Kojic International Music Department, yes. But when the late great Dr. Matty Moss Clark was over the music department, believe it or not, I didn't start on the organ because back then she would mainly use her daughter Twinkie.
Okay.
And back then I was just doing I was playing drums.
Oh.
And so I played drums for the National when I got a chance. And one of my favorites was when she would bring hymns and anthems. I would play the drums for the anthem and hymns because she whoever was on the drum, they had to be on it. It can't be slacking, be behind or up front. You got to be on it, especially when you was playing with Twinkie. And so back then, my father was on her board back in the day, and I used to play. Like I said, play the drums, and then later on, once I started getting into organ and piano, I started playing piano, and sometimes Twinkie would let me play the organ for the offering. Or when if she wasn't there, or if she was ready to go, she would let me get on the organ to finish off the service. Mm-hmm. And so it went from there, And then when she passed, it went to other Dr. Whitley, other doctor, and then her daughter Dorinda was over the choir, and then that's why I used to play a lot. That's where I really got going, playing piano and organ for the National Church. Mm-hmm. And so it groomed me to, first of all, playing for a lot of people can either scare you or have you on your P's and Q's. Mm-hmm. Playing for all those folks, you could get nervous, especially when everybody's used to a certain sound, on the instruments, and then when they don't hear that sound, all of a sudden them eyes are looking at whoever's on the organ or the piano, and it will scare you or man you up to do what you got to do. And so that's what really got me going, as far as being able to play in front of a lot of people, and I'll never forget what Twinkie would encourage me, if I would do something wrong or not do that sound, she would tell me, "Don't give up. Keep doing what you know to do." Mm-hmm. And I'll forever be grateful for her.
So name some of the choirs that you've worked with.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, like I said, the International Music Department Mass Choir. Then before that, I used to play for the back in your neck of the woods, the late Dr. Murphy Pace and the Powerhouse Deliverance Choir.
Yes,
I did some records with them, with the Pace sisters and LaShawn Pace, and then the Mississippi Mass Choir, the Colorado Mass Choir, Bishop Walter Hawkins and the Love Center Choir, Edwin Hawkins and the Music and Arts Seminar Mass Choir,
Thompson,
the GMWA Mass Choir, the Las Vegas Mass Choir here in town, and then a choir that I have here in Vegas, it's WNC, which I call the White Knight Choir. And so it's just different various of choirs. The Lord allowed me opportunity to work with different choirs, and I'm forever grateful. Mm-hmm. Yes. Forever grateful.
I got another question. Well, I guess we all had questions. So how has the relevancy of choirs impacted the R&B scene? Because you see a lot of these choirs and these R&B singers, they bring on choirs to back them up and stuff. I think it was a choir even on the Super Bowl. Was it? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know if he brought a choir in, but it was something that we were watching. They brought a choir on. I mean, it's just like all these choirs. You know, how has the choir, black gospel choir specifically, impacted the R&B scene?
Well, you got to realize most of these R&B singers came from the choir, came from church, and. You know, every once in a while, when they want to feel Jesus or they want to come to Jesus moment, you know, they find these choirs. A famous choir that a lot of people know is my good friend Jason White from L.A. and it's called the Samples Choir when he was working with Kanye West. I also worked with West Angeles also as far as their choir. So yeah, that's what, like I said, most of these R&B singers came from church, and every once in a while they want to feel that moment. They want to feel some soul. So they'll find a choir. They'll find a church choir and go record and even Snoop Dogg. You know, he wanted to find a choir. You know, it's just they want to feel that moment, and so they'll find a choir, and that good singing choir will do what they need to do to push that artist to do what they need to do. You know, even I'm trying to think. The Gladys Knight, I worked with her. She had a choir. And I was her music director, and I worked with her on it. So it's just different artists. Like I said, when they most of them came out of church, and they you know, and every once in a while, when the time permits, they'll go to church on Sunday morning, and they want to hear a good soul stirring choir. To reach their heart.
I remember when we were living in LA, not that it was a choir, Rance Allen was living at the time, and this was right before we left, I think. Anyway, him and Snoop Dogg did a song together, and Brian Scott, who's over Ty Scott Records, told me, you know, why don't you go, you know, make sure that Rance is fine and stuff. So we went down to his, I think he called it the Dog Pound down by the airport. So I had a chance to meet Snoop Dogg and all that, but it was just funny, like how these artists, they, like you said, they want to feel it, you know, and they want to bring in these artists and stuff just to, you know, and then he made this whole gospel CD, and I'm like, oh man, come on, really? So
yes sir,
I think
that's what it's all about.
I think what I love to see is when the secular artists, and they get up and they receive a Grammy or something, or whatever their award is that they're winning, and then they'll say who they give their shot. Like, I grew up listening to the Clark Sisters. I grew up listening to Hawkins. I grew up listening to, and these people made me who I am. It's like, what? I mean, it's like their musical influences, and seriously, 9 times out of 10, you hear the Clarks, the Hawkins, Andre Crouch, the Winans, you know. Speaking of the Winans, did you have any work with them as well?
Unfortunately, I never did get a chance to work with them. Okay. You know, I've couple times only thing I've played for Pastor Marvin Winans when he had come to Vegas to preach. But other than that, as far as on a music level, no, I wasn't fortunate to do it.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna put this out in the atmosphere. Hey, Winans, can you make sure anybody know the Winans, please? You know what? Now I did meet what's
Lady Vicky
Winans.
Oh, Vicky.
And she said she loved me. She loved
Chris.
Well, all right.
She loved
No, but it was funny though. But yeah, like if anybody knows the Winans, please reach out to them and let them know that David Allen Blakely is waiting in the background.
No, he ain't
waiting.
He is not waiting. Matter of fact, he waiting to finish this so he can go to the next thing he got to do tonight. So listen, one of the things. Okay, final things. The choir universal uniform, the wonderful robe. The wonderful robe. Okay. Now, I love to see a good robe. Okay. Now, we grew up, I wore every combination. Black and white, red and black, black and gold, all white, all black. Oh my goodness. Purple and black. You know, especially when it was anniversary time and then had a matching flower to go with it, or you throw a sash of a scarf on. And then when it's decided upon, okay, we gonna get choir robes. I was the first one to raise all my money for my Faith Temple choir robe. Yes, I was.
Funny.
Yes, I was. I had to raise $100 for my robe, and I was the first.
Yeah. We used to. I remember we used to, because I used to sing in the choir. I had to get a robe. And we used to have those Pringle cans, and we would be gleaning. We cover the Pringles cup up, and ask folks for money, and we would put money in there. I remember those days. I remember.
Oh yes, I'm telling you it. But I understand the purpose of the robe. Because it covered all mistakes. It covered all wardrobe malfunctions. There was unity. Okay. There was unity in the choir. Everybody had one look, now you would have a problem sometimes with hairstyles and earrings, but then your mother was smart. She would tell us, okay, you wear this earring, you can have one string of pearls, something like that to keep the uniformity and it not be a distraction, because you want one sound, one voice, one look, because you are united, So I wanted to give a shout out to robes. It warms my heart when I still see them. People still making them, still ordering them. Okay. And they can be as basic or as fancy as you can afford them. Okay.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Do you have any influences when it comes to the choir?
Influence?
Or the people, I mean, you're a maestro. I get it. Foundationally is what I would say.
Well, one of the church choirs that I play for here, they wear robes. They sing every Sunday, and always first Sunday they have their robes on, and they had to wear robes because sometimes, like you said,
it can be interesting.
You're not becoming of holiness. Looking like you coming from the park. You look like you on your way to 9 o'clock.
Right.
So club or whatever. Right. So they had to put the foot down.
Well,
definitely had to put the.
I think where I was coming from was musically influences. Like I named before, the Clarks, the Crouches, or in addition, I mean, you are influenced yourself, but who is your, who would you go to, or
who's your go-to choir?
Okay, that too.
Well, I really don't have. I was always one that never put me in a corner. Like I said, the Mississippi Mass, they're traditional. Colorado Mass is like a contemporary. Love Center was like a contemporary / traditional. So I always glean from everybody. The Mass, the Kojic Mass, they had a variety. DMWA had a variety. My community choir, we variety. We do traditional as well, contemporary. So I always listen. My ears are always open for a sound that I'm listening to that would fit whatever choir that I'm dealing with. And so variety. I don't have just one genre of gospel music.
I would say for me, when it comes to the choir, when I want to hear the choir, I'm cleaning up the house. Okay. My first go-to is Ricky Dillard. That's my first.
Okay.
And then after him, I'll go to Donald Lawrence. Then after that, I may do Wilmington Chester Mass. Yeah. And so it's like, or even the Tommies. That's like going home right there. As much as we went over there on the third Sunday musicals. So that was, and I appreciate those. Ricky is keeping that tradition.
Oh yeah,
for real. Yeah. And now, did you do some work with him?
No, I've never done anything with Ricky.
But how do you get
I've done some stuff with his music director, but I've never done anything with Ricky.
Wow.
No. Now I did some songs on the Tommy's record.
Okay.
A while ago.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot that snuck by me. Yeah. But yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like you said, it all depends on the mood and the moment.
Right.
Whatever that moment is, you'll pull out a certain choir record and do what you got to do. If it's vacuuming, ironing, cleaning, or whatever,
You get a lot done. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we ain't gonna hunt you because I know you have other things to do tonight. The night is still young for you. I mean, and so, but just want to thank you. But want to listen. Just another day to give you your flowers and say, listen, you are Black history. You are making Black history. We look for the announcement for the hymnal. Yes, speak on the hymnal. Can you speak on that?
Yes. Yeah, it's been out a little while, but it's still relevant. It's called, you can get it on Apple Music. It's called The Hymnal, My Interpretation. Some of the solo artists on it is Zacardi Cortez, Leandria Johnson, Lena Bird Miles, Nikki Potts, and some local artists. But it's relevant. It's still some good music on there.
Wow.
And I would encourage anybody to just go to it, Apple Music, and download it, stream it, purchase it, whatever you need to do, but it's there.
Oh, wow. And we popped up there one of your flyers we got off of Facebook from a couple of years back.
Okay.
And we see Nikki Potts, her picture, and Lena Bird's Miles, which we have been seeing a lot of sightings of Lena on different programs on TV. She is rocking this afro right now that is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, amazing. When she came out with it on that BET special, I think she had on either royal blue with it. She was so radiant. Oh, she looked amazing. And I remember when you brought her to Indiana, she knocked our socks off. Oh, my goodness. And just as humble and nice. So just and I saw you recently, you just did, just backed her, played for her recently, earlier this month.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, it was an honor.
Awesome.
What about what's the name in Chicago? Had a choir too. Holy Spirit.
Sweet Holy Spirit.
Larry Trotter?
Yeah,
Mr. Larry Trotter.
Yeah. You do anything with him or?
Now, I've never done anything with him, but I've done a lot of his songs.
Really?
Yeah. Talk about inspiration. Yeah. I've talked. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of songs. And I used to I played for Vashawn Mitchell.
Okay.
Vashawn Mitchell, who was Mr. Music back in the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. So when it comes to music and writing, is there a different style of writing? Like, do you write the same way you do for, let's say, a solo artist versus a choir? Is the writing concepts a little different?
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, just because with the choir, you dealing with the lead singer as well as the 3 or 4 voice harmonies of the choir, compared to the soloist, you're just dealing with the soloist. So it's a difference in writing of that. But I love it. I love it. Yeah. Especially when that soloist can sing.
Right. Yeah. Do you think choirs are coming back though, or?
I don't think, that question has always come up. I don't think they left. Now, I must say, when the pandemic hit and when churches was pre-recording, that's when really the choirs really left, because that, You know, didn't want a lot of people around you, so it was just a praise team recording. So that was just less people. But I don't think the choirs left. Now, a lot of these churches, because of the pandemic, these LED screens came and hit the choir stand. And so that's one reason why a lot of churches got away with their choirs. But for the most part, the choirs have, like I said, traditional churches, the choirs ain't left. They ain't left.
Wow.
That's awesome.
They're still here to stay, and they're here to stay.
Gotcha.
Well,
As long as, like you said, the Ricky Dillis and Don Lawrence, my good friend Kevin Lemons passed away. As long as these choirs are constantly giving us good music, the choirs ain't going nowhere.
Wow. Well, I'll say this in almost closing this out. It's nothing like being in a rehearsal and with the foundation that we have when it comes to choir. It's nothing like being there and they don't know how to teach parts. Ooh! I sit up there and I be like,
Yeah.
And please, everybody cannot do it. Everybody cannot teach parts. I mean, growing up the way we did, they made it seem easy, but coming out of that, now it's like, no, this was not easy. Everybody can't teach parts.
Yeah, no, there's a difference between a choir director and a choir trainer.
Ooh.
You know, it's a difference. There's a lot of people when you just flare and wave their arms, that. But when it comes to actually teaching music and knowing what is needed to push a choir to sing a certain song a certain way, there's a big difference.
Wow.
Well, in saying that, shout out to all the directors and the trainers. And I even want to mention one. I'm about to take you way back. Miss Dolina Mack.
Wow.
Yes. She's a godmother of mine. Dolina Mack.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And she is a choir director, trainer. She can play classical music. She can play all type, and she can play a pipe organ. Everybody can't do that either. So
you're right.
Shout out to her, who is also keeping the choir alive at St. Timothy Community Church in Gary off of 25th.
My old church.
That's where he was raised, St. Timothy. So listen, we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
are Black history. You are making Black history. Thank you for keeping the choir alive and that it remains. It's alive and well everywhere you go. And you have inspired many, many over the years. I look at the comments. They call you uncle. They call you dad. Listen, they look forward to you. When you grace their statuses or anything, they are stoked. So listen, we are proud of you. We thank God for you, and keep making waves, keep doing your thing. And every year when people, where's David Allen in Memphis? Listen,
thank you all for this platform. I don't take it lightly. Just because you all my cousin, I don't take it lightly. I thank you all for this open door of giving my little 2 cents regarding Black history and Black choirs. I thank you all.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you for your contribution to history. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
We're gonna call you right after.
Love y'all.
All right,
love y'all.
Too.
Love y'all.
All right, love
bye-bye.
you too. All right, bye-bye. Wow, that's good. That's good.
And I would like to say that's my cousin.
No,
you married in.
No, hey. Well, it's just like the Jews and the Gentiles. Hey, we all can take part. We all, yeah.
Absolutely.
So when I was engrafted in.
Yep, when you said I do.
When I said I do.
Almost 24 years ago.
Hey, but this is what I got to say.
Here we go.
This is what I got to say.
Here we go.
Let me
watch it. Tread lightly.
Tread me tell you this.
Tread lightly.
What's your last name?
Okay. Okay. I got you.
What's your last name now?
I got you. That's understood. All
That's all I got to say, y'all. That's
Okay.
all I got to say.
I got you. Not a problem. Not a
Yes.
problem. All right. But when we walk through certain doors, what name are we using? Okay. So listen.
Edwards.
All right. So listen, we thank God. We are so appreciative of him and his contribution. We thank God for his foundation, his family. Like I said, the late Superintendent Reverend David Blakely, and his mother, the great Mother Dolores Blakely, and his brother and sister, Brother Darren, his sister Dela Bria, and again, and his wife, his wonderful wife, and their family. And so, listen, we love you all. And as I tell you all, every week, pray, seek the face of God, call upon the Lord while he may be found and while he is near. Okay, and if you don't know what to pray for, watch the news for a good 5 minutes. You'll have a good list, okay? But think outside of just
especially with that plane flipping over today.
Listen, pray for the that's not. Listen,
No, I'm just saying. I know it ain't funny. I'm just saying, like,
crazy.
yeah, plane flipped over.
Flipped over. Yeah. A Delta flight. This just happened today. Listen, and
Lord.
reach out to somebody. Make sure none of your family or friends that was on that flight, and yeah, right there in Toronto. So I forgot where they were coming from, but it was a Delta flight. It was
someplace on the West Coast, I think.
Yeah. So let's just stay before the Lord. But again, we thank Mr. the right Dr. Maestro David Allen Blakely who was our guest on this evening. He is making Black history. He is Black history, and we are so grateful for him. Next week, okay. We are talking to the great, the wonderful, who God is using in this hour, Apostle Javon Blakely. Another Blakely. That will be featured on next week, and how he is making Black history. You're going to see it, and his staff. It's amazing what we got coming for you all next Monday. Listen, Black History Month, keeping it good and black and wonderful. Blackly, black. We love you.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.
CNC Live.